What's up, guys? For my topic, I'll be talking about, can a socialist be a Christian? I found this topic interesting because I never really thought about that question before. So for the first part, I'll be explaining the side of a socialist can be a Christian, and then talking about a socialist can't be a Christian. Then I'll be sharing my interview that I had with Miss Jane Bell, a professor of GU. Then for my final remarks, it'll be me talking about my own beliefs on this topic. I will now be talking about the side of the people who do believe a socialist can be a Christian. Sarah New talks about in an article how she was inspired by Bernie Sanders because he is a Christian socialist. Bernie talks about how he never really used to go by the label socialist because people have been brainwashed into thinking socialism automatically means slave labor camps, dictatorships, and lack of freedom of speech. It wasn't by his choice, though, that he would be called a Christian socialist. It was actually the media who made the title stick. Bernie specifically never said the word socialist in the campaigns for mayor of Burlington, but once he had won, the title was there to stay. Christian socialists is a religious and political philosophy that blends Christianity and socialism, endorsing left-wing politics and socialist economics based on the Holy Bible and the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. Many Christian socialists believe capitalism to be rooted in the sign of greed. Christian socialism became a major movement in the United Kingdom beginning in the 19th century. The Christian socialist movement is known as Christians on the Left since 2013 is one of formal group. American Christianity has often been decidedly capitalist bent, but there's a long history between Christianity and socialist movements. I will now be talking about the other side, the people who do not believe a Christian can be a socialist. I will be explaining 5 key points as to why people believe a socialist cannot be a Christian. The first one being socialism is based on a materialistic worldview. The second being socialism punishes virtue. The third being socialism endorses stealing. And the fourth being socialism encourages envy and class warfare. And finally, socialism seeks to destroy marriages and families. The Christian Post states, socialism is based on the materialistic worldview according to Bernie Sanders. The greatest problem in the world is the unequal distribution of wealth. The issue of wealth and income inequality is the great moral, economic, and political issue of our time. Another major reason is socialism punishes virtue. Socialists want to distribute wealth to individuals according to their needs, regardless of virtue. The third reason, socialism endorses stealing. Barack Obama once defended his socialist policies by saying, "We've got to make sure that the people who have more money help the people with less money." Obama wasn't endorsing people voluntarily sharing their wealth with others. He was endorsing the government forcefully taking a piece of it from the wealthy to give to others. The fourth key point is socialism encourages envy and class warfare. Bernie Sanders once posted to his Facebook, "Let us wage a moral and political war against the billionaires and corporate leaders on Wall Street and elsewhere." He stated that people's policies and greed are destroying the middle class of America. The last key point is socialism seeks to destroy marriages and families. Socialism seeks for the states to replace the family. This way, it can indoctrinate children in its leftist way of thinking and remove them from any notions of God or religion. I will now be talking about my interview with Miss Jane Bell. She is a college professor at Greenville University and teaches in the Briner School of Business. Jane is a very highly regarded professor and has a lot of accomplishments in her time. I asked Miss Bell the complex question, do you believe a socialist can be a Christian? Her answer was, without a doubt, yes, they can be. She told me a story about an article she read that was talking about Jesus. She said that in the article that the main thing was whether or not you believe in God. Miss Bell is a firm Christian follower, and she said that in the article it says Jesus wasn't worried about who the president is or what type of government we have. But once again, she said all that matters is whether or not you believe in God. In my perspective, I believe a socialist can be a Christian. Don't bring government into the question or talk about it. Think simply, do you believe in God? Me personally, I do. And for that reason, I believe a socialist can be a Christian because believing in God is the main thing you have to think about when asking the question or trying to answer it. Breaking bread and passing it around is a demonstration of what socialism is. Communion is a symbol of it. We should be passing out and distributing equally, just as God does for us. God has called us to give freely and love our neighbors equally, and giving equally is a core aspect of socialism. Matthew 7 through 11. I have learned many interesting things while writing this paper. I've learned one of two different viewpoints that people have and why they believe that to be true. This topic really doesn't have a straight, set, correct answer. It really comes down to what you believe in and how you feel. I encourage everyone to think for themselves on the topic at hand and discover an answer for themselves.